If you really want to know what makes it go, what takes it high or sends it low down, well, you can work it out if you just learn about the way things work. If you really want to know how it can ride or bump and jump or glide and slide, you ought to take a little look inside the way things work and watch the thingamabob that turns the knob, that makes the jigger jig, that turns the thingamajig, that pulls the trigger, that makes the digger dig. If you really want to know how it can fly without a wing or string to tie with, you'll find the same simple rules apply with the way things work.
It was a glorious day on Mammoth Island. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and...
Hello there! What's up?
What? Oh, hello, Olive. Nothing's up. I was just wondering, what is that delicious smell?
What? Oh, that'll be Auntie Brenda. She's doing some baking for the barbecue tonight.
Brenda's baking was so famous throughout the island that she had converted her shed into a kitchen bakery. That night, there was to be a village barbecue, with Brenda's cakes, as ever, the final treat. And for this barbecue, Brenda was baking more cakes than she had ever baked before, which was putting an extra strain on her already overworked oven.
I love barbecues, but Brenda's cakes are the best.
Oh, dear. And so it was that I caught my first sight of the Mammoth Island Fire Brigade in action. Where's Pillbeam going? The fire station's over there.
You'll see.
There's a good mammoth.
Pillbeam, it turned out, had developed a technique for encouraging a mammoth to drink far more water than it needed. Ingenious. And has Pillbeam trained the mammoth to spray water over the fire?
Not exactly.
How odd. Whatever do they plan to do with that? They're not going to... Surely not squeeze the poor mammoth.
No, it's okay, really. Don't worry.
I say! Ready, lads? 1, 2...
I knew that was going to happen. It always does. Now Troy will have to feed the mammoth extra hay to say sorry for scaring it.
I don't know why they bother. They get all wet and scare the mammoth and just look at my shed. I'll never get my baking done in time for the barbecue now.
Don't worry, Brenda. I've sent the lads home to turn on their ovens. If we all pull together, we'll make up for lost baking time.
That's easy for you to say, Frank. But I've got to make a whole new batch of cake mix.
While Brenda got busy making more cake mix, Frank got everything else organised. Soon, the whole island was baking cakes for the barbecue. It looks as if Frank's right. There'll be plenty of cakes for the barbecue. Olive, is something bothering you?
I was just wondering, there's got to be a better way to get water from the watering hole to a fire. I mean, it sort of makes sense to use a mammoth. It just never works out how it should. If there was some kind of machine we could use...
What kind of machine do you have in mind?
I don't know. Something that would suck the water in and then push the water back out again. A pump! That's all we need. Like this, only for water.
Yes, that could work. Pumps work by raising or lowering the pressure of a fluid. A fluid can actually be a gas like air or a liquid like water. All fluids, just like everything else, are made up of tiny particles called molecules. And the amount of pressure they're under depends upon whether they're packed tightly together or if they have loads of room to move around. When a pump's piston is pulled back, it gives the molecules within the pump's chamber extra room. This reduces the pressure inside the pump. Now, because the pressure is greater outside than inside, molecules are forced through the hole to take up the extra space in the chamber. And when the piston is pushed in, the molecules inside the pump are pressed tightly together, which increases the pressure, which forces the molecules out through the hole at the other end. Aha! Because the pressure inside the pump is so great, the fluid rushes out of the pump in a powerful stream.
All that pushing and pulling's easy if the pump's small, but we'd need a big pump to put out a fire, so we'd have to find a way to make it easier to pump.
And what do you think would do that?
How about some kind of lever? Something that would move to and fro and drive the piston. Something... Something like that.
The to and fro motion Olive was talking about is called reciprocation. It's like a seesaw in a playground. When one end goes up, the other end goes down. And when used to drive a pump, that pump is called a reciprocating pump. The inlet valve opens and the fluid, in this case water, is forced in. Don't take your eyes off that piston, because when it's then pushed in, the inlet valve shuts. The pressure increases, the outlet valve opens, and out we go! So, Olive rushed back to her father's workshop, and Frank, who was taking a break from cake baking, set to work. This is the sort of thing you had in mind, Olive?
What are you doing in here? It's almost barbecue time.
We've been making a reciprocating pump, so we won't have to squeeze any more mammoths.
I don't see how. There's hardly any room for the water in that thing.
There isn't meant to be. The pump will let us move water from one place to another without finding a mammoth to carry it. Watch. If I pump this handle, it's easier when there's two of you. Auntie Brenda, could you grab the other end?
Oh, if I must. You and your silly ideas.
That's better. Thanks. When we pump this handle, the water is sucked up inside the pump, then pushed out along the hose. How's it working, Dad?
Nothing this end, Olive. I wonder what we did wrong.
Dad, you're standing on the hose.
Am I? Silly me. While Frank set to work building a bigger version of the pump, Troy had set to work lighting the barbecue.
Don't you think that's enough wood, Troy?
Yeah, and that wood pile looks a bit close for comfort. Olive and Frank were right. It was another job for the Mammoth Island Fire Brigade. Okay, lads, get pumping. Sorry, Troy. That's enough, boys.
Nice one, Dad.
Nice one, Olive. It was your idea, after all.
Fire out? Great. Now for the barbecue. Or maybe not. And I'm feeling really hungry too.
Well, it looks like I arrived just in time. Thank you all for your help. I'd never have got them baked in time without you.
Great timing, Brenda.
Yay! Cake!
I like cake.
Woohoo! Cake's ready!
Even though things hadn't turned out as they'd expected, the islanders all agreed it was the best barbecue they had never had.